Hello, Speech 102 class. I recently read a quote that reported 86% of people reported to work with at least one annoying coworker. I guess the other 14% didn't realize they were that annoying coworker. This is just one example of gathering information and data from a survey. We'll now go over the questions Group 1 constructed and how we did so. Before we do so, the rest of Group 1 will introduce themselves. My name's Eddie.
My name is Katie.
My name is Chance.
My name is Taja.
So our thesis statement is that demographics are important because what we release to the public can determine how we do things with companies and schools and such. It's also important to keep in mind that demographic surveys are not always completely accurate, but they are a good way of getting that basic knowledge.
We use demographics to determine what to cultivate and make more of. For instance, if we had a company asking its customers if they liked normal milk or chocolate milk, and most of the customers said chocolate milk, they would thus make more chocolate milk.
Eddie and Katie had 11 responses, and me and Chance had 4 since we joined a little late. Here's what we got.
In my questions, I asked whether you were a morning person or a night person. My results, I got 6 morning people and 5 night. I also asked what device you use to produce your content and what you use to watch content within this course. My results was 7 people reported to use laptops, 2 people said mixed, and 2 people use phones. It is important that I ask these questions so that way I can better put out quality content for myself and help you and enjoy your overall experience in watching that content.
My first question was, where do you park on campus? I got 3 people saying they parked in the residential parking lots. 2 were commuter. 1 was pay to park. 1 was the value lot. 1 person's completely online, so they don't need to park. And 2 people didn't have a car. My second question was, do you have a meal plan with CMU? 3 people said yes, and 8 people said no. What I can determine from these results is about 3 people probably live on campus that attend this class who took my survey. So that's important to determine because then we know how many people are off campus, and it makes it easier to put things out to the class and run the class, knowing how many people have more day jobs and such.
For my questions, I asked, are you a first-generation student? The results that I got were split right down the middle. 2 of my responses were yes, 2 of my responses were no, indicating that 50% were first-generation students. My second question was, how do you read assigned course material? My responses were mixed between online through a computer screen, in person, so book, and then my third response was audiobook. So the results were very mixed.
My first question was, what is your ethnicity? So Katie and Eddie are Spanish, and Chance is Caucasian, and I am Hapa. My second question was, what is your first language? All of us have English for our first language. So by this, I can assume that all of us, we were born in a speaking English country.
This concludes Group 1's questions and demographic data that was gathered from our survey. I'll hand you over to the rest of the group to finish up.
To summarize, Eddie's survey determined whether people were morning or night people and what devices they used for class. In determining this, he can make better content for his classmates, and the professor can also look and determine what students will be on what time and determine how to put out content so that everybody can get it done in a timely manner. And then chances survey assumes that about half of the students are first generation. So that means about half of the students will get the first generation scholarship. And as I stated in the thesis, it is important to remember it might not be accurate, but it's what we can assume from the numbers.
The result of Katie's survey was we can assume that 3 students of those surveyed live on campus. The result of Taja's survey was we can assume that most students are from English-speaking countries, even though their ethnicities are mixed.
We may not be determining if you're an annoying coworker, but you may know an annoying classmate. In conclusion, demographic questions help us to determine how to produce.